Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So, Caitlin Clark just made history yesterday. And honestly, this is the kind of greatness we may never see again. Caitlin Clark officially became the only player in the WNBA history with multiple 30-point, 10-assist games. Think about that for a second. Out of every legend that has ever played in this league, nobody has done what she's doing right now. And it gets even crazier. She's now 6th all-time across basketball history to accomplish this feat. The numbers are unreal, the impact is unreal, and game after game, Caitlin Clark continues proving why she is changing women's basketball forever. Okay. Oh, wait. She didn't, because according to the WNBA, neither of these are assists. Again, I cannot show these clips in full. So she dribbles down, I show like 2 seconds of the clip, she drives here and then tosses it back to Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell hits a 3. According to the WNBA, that is not an assist. And then she drives in, draws 2 defenders, throws a pass, and by the way, this is not a deflected pass. People are like, oh, the pass got tipped. This pass did not get tipped. The person whose hand looks like it tips the ball is Lauren Betts. When she throws the pass here, the hand actually does not hit the ball. You can see it by the way the ball rotates. There is no tip on this pass. That is a direct pass to Monique Billings. No assist. What happened with Caitlin Clark yesterday? Because this situation is honestly getting ridiculous. Caitlin Clark made history again, but somehow the stat sheet still managed to tell an incomplete story. And the craziest part is that 2 of her assists were either delayed or flat out ignored during the game. Seriously, one of the assists was not even added until several possessions later. Caitlin Clark made a clean pass to Maya Hins-Allen for an open layup. There was no confusion on the play, it was a direct setup, an easy bucket, and somehow the assist still did not appear immediately. It took multiple possessions before they finally corrected it. That should never happen at this level of professional basketball. And then there was another sequence that makes the whole situation look even worse. Caitlin Clark threw a bounce pass directly to Kelsey Mitchell. The pass was completely on target, but while the ball was traveling, Kelsey Mitchell lost her footing, tripped over herself, and accidentally knocked the ball out of bounds with her knee while trying to recover. Somehow, that play gets recorded as a Caitlin Clark turnover. Like, what are we doing here? The ball hit Kelsey Mitchell because she fell down. Caitlin Clark did her job, the pass was accurate, yet the turnover still lands on Caitlin Clark's stat line. This is exactly why people cannot just stare at box scores and pretend they tell the entire story of a basketball game. Now, normally, I would say stats are not everything. Wins matter more. Impact matters more. But here's the issue. Awards in the WNBA are heavily influenced by stats. MVP races are influenced by stats. All WNBA teams are influenced by stats. Historical comparisons are influenced by stats. So when these mistakes continue happening to certain players over and over again, eventually it becomes a real conversation. And look, let's just be honest about the Indiana Fever right now. If Aaliyah Boston misses significant time, this team is in serious trouble. Stephanie White is already trying to manage a roster with flaws, and without Aaliyah Boston, the Fever probably aren't even a playoff caliber team. That is just reality. You start looking ahead and wondering what direction this organization is eventually going to take. Because at some point, the Fever may have to make difficult decisions involving Kelsey Mitchell's future. If they can't keep everybody together long term, then major roster questions are going to come up sooner rather than later. But getting back to the main point here, the stat keeping around the league has been unbelievably inconsistent. And what makes fans angry is that it always seems to involve the same players. Angel Reese has dealt with questionable stat keeping. Paige Beckers lost control of the ball, launched it toward Arike Ogunbowale while Arike was not even looking, and somehow the turnover was charged to Arike Ogunbowale instead. Another possession was somehow counted as a missed rebound and an offensive rebound instead of the obvious turnover that everybody watching could see happen live.
So, fans are starting to wonder what exactly is going on with these stat crews, because there are way too many examples of star players either benefiting from generous scorekeeping or getting punished unfairly depending on the situation. And with Caitlin Clark, it feels like she never gets the benefit of the doubt. Even during her rookie season, there were questionable calls constantly appearing on the stat sheet. There was one early season play where Caitlin Clark delivered a pass to Christy Wallace. Christy Wallace took a dribble, lost control, dribbled the ball off her own foot, and somehow the turnover was still blamed on Caitlin Clark as a bad pass. That is not normal. That is not consistent scorekeeping. That is just bad stat tracking. Again, I'm not saying these plays changed the outcome of games. The Fever still had to execute. The missed assists themselves did not determine wins or losses. But when you're talking about a player who is potentially entering the MVP conversation, every single stat starts mattering more than people realize. Because if Indiana stays competitive and finishes near the top half of the standings, Caitlin Clark absolutely deserves serious MVP consideration. Alyssa Thomas is going to be in the race. A'ja Wilson is always going to be in the race. Breanna Stewart could easily heat up later in the season, too. But when every assist and turnover affects public perception, these stat errors suddenly become a much bigger deal. And somebody behind the scenes should be pushing back. Whether it's the WNBA stat crew or the Fever's own scorers, somebody needs accountability here. Because if this happened consistently to another franchise star, there would absolutely be complaints going directly to the league office. Honestly, if Lynn Dunn was still running everything the same way as before, there would probably already be pressure behind closed doors about these mistakes. And on top of all that, there are already questions surrounding the Indiana organization itself. Attendance numbers dropped below expectations recently, ticket prices crashed, and for the first time since Caitlin Clark arrived, there were visible empty seats at a Fever game. That is going to create even more pressure on the front office moving forward. So yeah, this entire situation is becoming bigger than just one missed assist. It's about consistency, fairness, and how star players are evaluated across the league. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys next time.
That's like the hardest thing as a basketball player is when you're not making shots to really stay in it. So I'm certainly proud of myself. Really, really battled. And a lot of those shots are very, very makeable. And I finished well, really well around the rim and 2-point area to start the season. Today I didn't finish well in the 2-point area. Like obviously 7 for 17 from 3. Obviously I got a lot up with how the game was played out. But happy with the way I shot it from 3. And from 2 I need to focus around the rim a little bit better. As I said earlier, all of us need to do that, but it starts with me. And if we don't have 3 clunky quarters, we don't force ourselves into basketball heroics. Like, we don't want to play that way. Like, I know it's exciting for the crowd, but we should have had ourselves in a position, especially after the first quarter, to, control this ball game, and we really didn't.